Welcome, welcome, welcome. We've missed you. It's been a couple months since we've all come together. Um, we have an awesome day planned for you today, and we hope that you enter this space today with grace and compassion and love and honoring yourself and others, and setting your intentions for what you hope to get out of today. Before we officially get started, we would like to take a moment to welcome a couple of new members from MAISA, some new colleagues that are going to help us be even better at serving you in ways of communication as well as helping us to organize some data. So I'd like to introduce Kyle this morning. And then also, if Teddy's here today, I'm hoping that he can introduce himself as well.
Hey there, my name is Kyle Nagy. I just joined MAISA here October 31st, and I am the communications coordinator for the professional learning grant. So I've had the opportunity to get to know a bunch of people on the Early Literacy Essentials Task Force, and I'm very supportive of everything that all of you do. So thank you for everything that you do, and it's nice to meet you.
Alyssa, would you like to introduce yourself this morning too?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Alyssa Lowe, and I believe last time I introduced myself, I was only 3 days in, but now I'm 2 months in, so I've learned a lot. Um, I'm the event planner at MAISA, and I work between both the literacy and math grants to put on the professional learning conferences. And I'm working on a good deal of them for the 2023 year, so I'm really excited.
And is Liberty on today?
Yeah, hi, hello, good morning. Some of you have met me before. If not, I'm Liberty Fetz. I'm the administrative assistant for the early literacy grant. So if you haven't gotten an email from me yet, you will definitely get one from me in the future.
Thank you all, and we just welcome you. If you want to give some love in the chat, feel free to do that. We're just going to be better able to serve you with our new colleagues and the colleagues that have been with us for a short time. So we're very thankful for you all, and thanks for being here today.
And my name is Erin Brown, in a role similar to Lisa's as far as coordination of the Early Literacy Professional Learning Grant at Mesa, and also ELA consultant at Muskegon Area ISD. We're excited for a unique kind of introduction here. First, handing it over to Susan Townsend, our director for early literacy and co-chair of the Early Literacy Task Force. After that, we're really excited to hear from Dr. John Severson, our MAISA executive director, and the one who's so close to the ISD superintendents, your bosses, our bosses. And so we'll get to hear from him a little bit, and we'll also get to hear from Dr. Nell Duke. So Susan, could you please kick us off?
Thank you, Erin. Good morning, everyone. And it's so exciting always to be attending the statewide coaching network meetings. I just want to say we are going to show you a 9-minute video this morning that Nell Duke created for us to share with the Mesa Gen Ed meeting in November with all the ISD superintendents. And we're super excited because this video really highlights how powerful this work is. And we know that our leaders are an integral part, but even more so, you are the coaches that are in the trenches every day working through this work and with all of our educators. So we appreciate you, and I want to thank you on behalf of the Early Literacy Task Force for all you do each and every day to move this research-informed work forward and to support our educators and children across the state. I'm going to hand it off now to John, I think, right, Erin?
Yeah, good morning, everybody. My name is John Severson, the new executive director for MAISA, and I love this work. I was very close to it when I was in Muskegon, and I know that every one of you across the state, every ISD has that same passion and compassion to make a difference. I know that we're turning a kind of a tough corner, but I I'm so glad I'm on the right boat with the right people to create positive change. And there's so many wonderful conversations that are taking place. We led this video you're going to see with all of the ISD leaders focused on instruction, getting us back on track after 2 very difficult years. And we know all of you are the people are going to make it happen, and together we're going to do it. So I'm just glad to be here, excited to get this opportunity to see some faces again, but also recognizing the amazing work that all of you do every day. So thank you.
Hi, everybody. This is Nell Duke from the University of Michigan, and now with my primary appointment at the organization Stand for Children at stand.org. I appreciate the invitation to develop a short informal video for you all this evening just to check in around literacy. So I don't need to tell you that it's a disappointing time for those of us who care about literacy. We were making some progress before the pandemic, and now Michigan has slipped back down in our achievement around literacy relative to other states and certainly relative to our goals for our children. And I think it's a time where many of you may be thinking, maybe we need a complete change in direction or a total course correction. And I want to just take a few moments to argue that we probably need to double down and do better what we're doing rather than a complete course correction. Or a complete shift in our approach. So the first thing to say is that continuing to keep a very, very strong focus on literacy makes all kinds of sense. If we look at the research, literacy is the academic area or skill set or whatever you want to call it that has the most impact on everything else. So there's not another academic area that you should be focusing on more. Literacy needs to continue to be our heavy focus from early childhood through the end of high school and beyond. So we need to keep that really strong focus on literacy. We need to double down on that focus. The second thing is that we need to keep our commitment to research informed. And if we didn't have that commitment, we need to make a commitment to research informed practice in literacy. So we have to kind of drown out any noise around practices or approaches or emphases that aren't supported in research. We need to stay with what research tells us is what children need. And we're very lucky that, in my opinion, that we have the essential instructional practices and lots of other national documents that help us to really know what research tells us. So here are some examples for kindergarten through 3rd grade. Every day, teachers should be reading to children. If teachers in your district aren't reading to children every day, that's a problem. When they read to children, there are certain ways to do it, certain ways to approach the vocabulary, certain ways to interact with children, certain kinds of questions to ask. If teachers aren't doing that, that's a problem. Every day in K-3, we need to be teaching phonics and spelling. We need to teach children how the sounds of our language map on to letters in our language. As kids get older into the 2nd grade, 3rd grade range, we also need to be doing things like looking more heavily at chunks of words, at morphemes, meaningful chunks of words, and so on. Every day. Every day, we need to be building content knowledge. So there should be science and social studies happening, even our K-3 classrooms, every day. These are all claims I'm making that are highly consistent with research. Explicit, systematic instruction in a wide range of different aspects of literacy is crucial to children's development and to getting as many children as possible reading and writing as well as possible, beginning again at our very earliest years of schooling. So I'm strongly encouraging you to keep that focus on research-supported practices in literacy. I know many of you are hearing the term science of reading, and there's a lot of confusion out there about what that term means. So let me be very clear that for researchers, the term science of reading means that we engage in practices that reflect the convergence of findings from scientific research on reading. And so the findings I just shared with you are science of reading. So explicit systematic phonics instruction, which is in the essentials, is science of reading. Reading aloud to children is also science of reading. Teaching science and social studies is also science of reading. In fact, check us out at the Knowledge Matters campaign, where our scientific advisory board nationally has issued a statement about the importance of knowledge building for literacy development. And again, I'm just giving you these as examples. There are many other practices enshrined in the essentials that are very important as well. So in other words, the work on the essentials is work on the science of reading. And it is just as important as you would think it was from all of the national conversation around science of reading. So we're going to double down, as I said, in a focus on literacy, encouraging you to double down on making sure that we're focused on research-supported practices, and we're focusing on those practices happening every day in our classrooms. The third thing I wanted to talk about doubling down on is just effective professional learning. So I think you all know that there's been a lot of research on how do we help teachers change practice in a way that actually changes outcomes for children and youth. And a lot of the things that we do in the education system historically to try to improve practice and outcomes don't work. So, one-shot workshops don't really work. Sort of building teachers' content knowledge in the absence of what they're doing every day in the classroom doesn't really work. What are some things that do work? We know coaching is very effective. Lots of studies have found the effectiveness of coaching, so we know that's really helpful. We know that professional learning that's job embedded and ongoing, research informed in its content and in its process, connected to coaching if at all possible, that works. So those are the things that we really need to double down on in the area of professional learning as well. So to summarize, I'm strongly encouraging you to do everything possible to keep your focus on literacy. There is really nothing in the academic realm more important than literacy. 2, I'm encouraging you to stay focused on research-informed practices and recognizing there's going to be a multiplicity of these practices. There's not one thing you can go in and do and magically everybody's going to do well on National Assessment of Educational Progress or MSTEP, right? There's a reason that we have a list of different practices that are all important for children's development. And third, that we really focus on staying the course or creating a course, depending on your situation in your district, toward research-informed professional learning approaches, which should at a minimum include coaching and ongoing job-embedded professional learning opportunities for teachers that are focused on what research tells us about what works to move the needle for children's achievement. Thank you all for your time. Thank you for all you're doing. And I hope you can all keep your chins up as we come through, hopefully, this difficult period better than ever. Thank you.
You have to really respect what Dr. Nell Duke's shared with us today. I mean, her ability to really get us to focus and to also acknowledge the good work that's taking place with coaching, seeing that firsthand. I truly believe in the work that all of you are doing every day. And there were a lot of pieces there too, talking about equity and those connections in the research and how they align to the essential practices. There's so many pieces to this work, but I really believe the human capital, the people, are the greatest opportunity to make this a deliverable. And she talked about, one-time workshops don't work, right? And why it's so important to double down. And the conversations I've had with Dr. Rice and MDE have aligned in those comments directly from her video, which I've actually shared with the Department of Ed. The diverse text projects are extremely key. I'll put Lisa Brown on the spot here. Lisa and I are going to be doing a workshop, a breakout session at MASA on diverse classroom libraries. I figure if I'm going to be a director and if I don't model the behavior that's expected, we won't come as far, right? So every person has to model that behavior. Every opportunity I'm in with ISD leaders to bring that attention to the work that we're doing. And you could see with the new people we've added a team that's really aligned to making sure that we're marketing it, PRing it, talking about our successes. And I really believe that's to lift all of you up at the same time. And I'm just proud of our team. I'm very proud of what our coaches do. We have to stay the course. I want you to know our association is 100% behind this work. We're doubling down, and I know there are a lot of challenges. We hear it in the news, but this is the right group to create the right change that gets us to a good place. So thank you to our team for letting me be here just to say a few words. And just so glad to be part of this work. It's the best part of my day to be with the essentials and the work that you do for our kids. Thank you.